Our viewers and subscribers of Entrepreneurship Couch, welcome to today's show. As always, we try and encourage all our viewers and subscribers to make sure that they watch all our shows right up to the end. What are we going to talk about today? We have realized that whilst we have talked and encouraged and motivated a lot of people to start and run their own businesses, we have realized that there are other basic, fundamental issues that we had overlooked. So we just thought we could take this opportunity to share with aspiring business people, to share with those that are already running their own businesses, to make sure that they do not get stuck when they've started to run their own business. The things that we are going to talk about are things that have got nothing to do with seed capital, are things that have got nothing to do with opportunities, are things that have got nothing to do with the problems that entrepreneurs have got to try and solve. What are some of these things? One of the things that we are going to talk about is the issue to do with confidence. There is never going to be a successful business person, a successful entrepreneur who is not confident. There is never going to be a successful entrepreneur who does not have a strong feeling of self-belief. Every entrepreneur has got to have self-esteem. They've got to believe in themselves. They've got to try and make sure that they've got the internal necessary drive. Besides the issue to do with capital, besides the issue to do with the problems that one can commercialize and provide solutions to, if one lacks confidence, if one lacks self-belief, if one lacks self-esteem, it is going to be very difficult for one to start and run a successful business. We are encouraging those that aspire to run their own businesses to critically take the opportunity to look in the mirror, to try and look at the things that they can improve on, things that they can train themselves on, things that they can educate themselves on, such that they do not get to a point where they are found wanting. So the first thing that people need to do is to do what we have come to term a self-reflection. What are some of the inadequacies? Where are they lacking? Confidence is something that people cannot be trained on. Confidence is something that people cannot go to school and be educated on. But we have discovered that confidence ranks highest among some of the requirements for one to be a successful entrepreneur. How does one go about making sure that they establish self-belief, self-esteem, and confidence? Key amongst the things that people need to do is to make sure that the lack of knowledge is complemented. One should go about looking for the necessary knowledge that you require when you start and run the business that you want to run. People have got to believe that God is never a respecter of people. They've got to believe in what I've come to term equivalence. No person is better than you. There is no person who was born better than yourself. We all have got 5 senses. We all have come from different backgrounds. And where you come from does not determine where you can be, does not determine whether you can start and run a successful business. If at all, self-reflection helps an individual to realize and look at what are some of the things that they need to look at. So today's program, we are not going to focus on issues to do with money. We are not going to focus on how you can start and run your own business. We are going to focus on the individual person. How do you make sure that you have got what it takes to start and run a business? What has happened to you when you were born? How you were raised? Your education does not matter in terms of you starting and running a successful business. If at all, I've always said to people, information and knowledge should only help you to make sure that you become a different person. How do you become a different person? If you realize that you have got inadequate knowledge, you have got inadequate exposure, you have got inadequate experience to start and run a successful business, you need to make sure that you have started to go about looking for this particular information, looking for this particular exposure, looking for this particular knowledge that is going to enable you to start and run a successful business. A lot of people have failed when it comes to the issue of self-belief. They've looked down upon themselves. They've looked down upon their capacities. They've looked down upon their capabilities. They've looked down upon their education. They've looked down upon their backgrounds. Yet research has proved that if at all these things do not affect how one can start and run a business, as long as you have deliberately decided to work on your shortcomings. So people need to make sure that whilst they can think and start off running their own businesses, it is always critical to work on their own individual personality shortcomings. You can never be expected to convince a potential client, to convince a potential customer when you lack confidence. For they always say 90% is self-conviction and 10% is your sales techniques. So the issue to do with the confidence, the issue to do with self-belief, the issue to do with self-esteem has got to be worked on. Other businesses have failed not because of lack of money, not because of lack of the market, but these other businesses have failed because those people that have been running these businesses have lacked self-belief, have lacked self-confidence. They have failed to believe in themselves. So it is always critical for you to take time to reflect and be honest to yourself to say, which areas am I lacking in? Which areas can I improve on as an individual person? Some of the things that you can work on which can be improved upon the acquiring of knowledge, upon the acquiring of education and training, those are easy to work on. But if you are not confident, no matter how educated you can be, you will always fail to deliver when you are expected to deliver. So some of these things people need to definitely and deliberately work on. You will realize that people who are confident have been able to employ talents and skills of those that are less confident, and they've managed to run successful businesses. A very good example that has often been given by people is the example of Henry Ford. At one time, Henry Ford was asked, why is it that whilst he was successful, he had not gone on to study law, he had not gone on to study accountants? And his answer was, by merely picking up a phone, I can talk to an accountant, I can talk to a lawyer. So when one is confident, whilst he may not possess some of the key skills and some of the key skills and talents, he would know how to go about making sure that those people with the relevant skills and the necessary skills are always at his disposal. So for today's show, we just wanted to take this opportunity to clearly indicate to you, to say, work on your confidence, work on your self-esteem, work on your self-belief, look in the mirror, work on some of the small little things that would make a difference when you start and run your own business. As I've always said, it is always 90% conviction. You need to work on your conviction. You need to work on your confidence. You need to work on your self-belief before you can start and run your own business. Our viewers and our subscribers, we are very grateful that you keep on following. Please like this video, like some of our videos, and watch out for our next show.